Hello and welcome to VVork. I'm Brian Watrous, and this is the 49th video in a 10-part video series where we're learning how to automate using vRealize Orchestrator. This is the last of a quick little series of videos in which I've been discussing how to perform simple tasks related to workflows. In the first of those videos, back in video 43, I teased you by telling you that the very last video that we're going to do in these ones on simple workflow techniques was going to teach you something that you probably didn't know and something that is super important. So let's jump on in here. Well, actually you can see from the title and you can see on the next slide here that what we're going to be talking about is how to undelete a workflow that you've deleted. How do I recover a workflow if I delete it? So let's take a look at a lab environment here. This is actually a different lab environment than I've been using in the last few videos. I'll explain why in a moment, but here I am in my lab environment, and as you can see, I have a workflow here that, according to the name of it, is super important. Boy, I sure wouldn't want to lose that workflow. As you can see, I've been running this workflow quite a few times, and I don't really want to delete these workflow tokens one at a time, because if I do so, this is going to take forever. Delete, right-click, delete. This is just taking too long. I can't do this. This will be forever. So we learned in, I believe it was the last video, video number 48, that you could right-click the right-click the workflow and choose to delete all the finished workflow runs. That'll delete all those tokens. But what if you accidentally chose delete? Well, you know what's going to happen then. That's not going to just delete the tokens. It's going to delete the tokens and the workflow itself. So let's accidentally delete this workflow. So we're deleting this workflow. Its name is super important workflow. We confirm, yes, I want to delete it, and now I've got a problem. Okay, if this is Windows, I would go looking for a recycle bin, or if this was a MacBook, I'd look for the trash can or something like that, but there's nothing like that in Orchestrator. Or is there? There is. If you right-click a folder, notice there's this option to restore deleted workflows. When I choose restore deleted workflows, as you can see, I have some workflows that I previously deleted, but this workflow here, the one I just deleted, is undeletable. It's recoverable. All I have to do is select the workflow I want to restore, click the restore button, and the workflow is restored. Its tokens are gone, but the workflow itself is back. I've saved the day. All right, phew, that was a close call. But as I mentioned a few moments ago, I'm not using the same lab environment that I had been using in the previous few videos. The reason why I switched to this lab environment is this lab environment is running an older version of Orchestrator. You'll notice that this one is running Orchestrator. Come on, tooltip, you can do it. Tooltip. Hang on. Come on, tooltip. You'll notice that this lab environment is running Orchestrator 7.4.0. Let's see what happens if we go over to a vRO 7.6 environment. Once again, I have a workflow in my vRO 7.6 environment. It apparently is incredibly important, and I might go in and attempt to delete all the finished workflow runs or workflow tokens. In this case, I don't have any, so I can't pretend I'm deleting those. But imagine I had a bunch of workflow tokens, and instead of choosing delete the finished workflow runs, I chose delete. Now again, we know what's going to happen here is it's going to delete that workflow. So we'll hit confirm. And I'm not worried about this at all because I know that I just showed you that you can recover deleted workflows. So I'm going to delete the workflow. And I realized that workflow is super important. So I'm going to go right-click the folder again in my vRO 7.6 environment. I'm going to right-click and choose... Where's restore deleted workflows? I don't know. I'm not quite certain when that option disappeared, whether it was 7.5 or 7.6, and I'm not certain if that was intentional or not, but it's gone. And if you're like me, if you are a fallible human being, at some point you are going to accidentally delete a workflow, and to get it back, well, you can't do it the old-fashioned way. Again, I'm not quite certain why that option's gone. If you think that option is important to have in the Java client for vRealize Orchestrator 7.6 and onwards, please drop a comment in the YouTube comments down below to voice your opinion. I would like to have that feature back. Okay, so let's go look at the HTML5 client. As you can see here, I've searched for a workflow, and I found one here called "I will get fired if I ever lose this workflow." That sounds like a pretty important workflow. Well, again, let's simulate accidentally deleting that workflow. Again, I intend to delete the workflow tokens, but instead I go to Actions, Delete. That's going to delete the workflow. I choose Delete, and I say, yeah, I really mean this by checking the checkbox, and I say, I really, really mean this by clicking the delete button. And what was the name of that workflow again? I'll get fired. Uh-oh, I got a problem. As far as I've ever been able to determine, none of the versions of the HTML5 based browser yet have the undelete a deleted workflow option. Again, that may be a feature that's hiding somewhere here in the HTML5 based client, but I've never seen it. I personally would love to have that feature because, again, I'm a fallible human being. At some point, I'm going to blow it and delete a workflow. If you think it's important to have undelete capabilities, the ability to undelete a workflow in the vRO client, the Java-based one, and or this HTML5-based client, again, please drop a comment in the YouTube comments down below and just say that. I'm a vRO developer. I need that functionality. If you don't, if you think you're perfect and you'll never make this mistake, then you don't have to drop a comment. But if you do think there's ever a chance you might need to recover, please drop a comment in the YouTube comments below. All right, so that's it for this quick little series on simple things to do with Orchestrator workflows. When I originally decided to do this little series here, I had this big finale planned. I was going to show you how you could undelete workflows, but for whatever reason, it doesn't look like that capability exists currently in 7.6. So drop a comment in YouTube comments down below. Anyways, that's it for this little series. I will continue having more bonus episodes in our 10-part video series. Not quite certain just yet what the next topic is going to be. I've got a few ideas. If you have something that you'd like to see talked about in this 10-part video series, drop a comment in the YouTube section down below. Anyways, hope you all are having a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.